DC to get on runway behind you. Roger. 4-4 Quebec's rolling north, just past the interstate. 4-4 Quebec. Number 3-4 Mike, where do you want to mark?
The F-16 Fighting Falcon is a multi-role jet fighter and one of the premier aircraft of world air forces today. Originally manufactured by General Dynamics, this successful fighter is manufactured by the Lockheed Martin Corporation, who purchased General Dynamics in 1993. Used by the U.S. Air Force and over 24 countries, the F-16 is also the most widely exported Western-built fighter in the world. And since its production approval in 1976, 4,400 F-16s have been built. Originally designed as a lightweight daytime fighter, the Fighting Falcon evolved into the multi-role fighter aircraft that it is today. These multi-role functions included the successful day and night operations during Operation Enduring Freedom in 2001. The F-16 is often nicknamed the Viper by pilots and played an important role in Operation Enduring Freedom, launched in Afghanistan on October 7, 2001, with hundreds of successful sorties. Remarkably, this operation began only weeks following the attacks of 9/11 and what some labeled as an impossible task. Yet the odds were overcome by the men and women involved in the operation, but not without sacrifice. The specific operation witnessed here by pod videos is the takeover of Kandahar Airfield and surrounding vicinity, which took place between November 23rd and December 7th of 2001. The USAF Viper's vital role was controlling air superiority and ground attacks along with NATO, as well as being directed by the ground controllers working with the Northern Alliance. Ground controllers, or CCTs, are a ground force trained as air traffic controllers first. CCTs take their air traffic control skills and apply them with aircraft against ground targets. CCTs teamed with AFACs, or Airborne Forward Air Controllers, to coordinate the assault with B-52s, B-1s, F-14s, F-15s, AWACS, and other aircraft. The result was a lightning-quick offensive to retake Afghanistan from the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Throughout the operation, F-16 Vipers remained some of the most successful AFAC operators. Part of Operation Enduring Freedom involved the complex, coordinated takeover of Kandahar Airfield, an important strategic airbase used by NATO to this day. AFAC's pilots flying F-16 Vipers worked closely with the ground controllers, who displayed unheralded heroism in making these operations successful. Ground controllers also physically worked hand in hand with the Afghan Northern Alliance to help direct attacks from surrounding hills and mountaintops during the overtaking of this airfield. Being a ground controller was a difficult and dangerous task due to the difficult-to-see enemy and the challenges working closely with a newly formed ally with cultural and language barriers, as well as the complexity of air and ground communications during warfare. As retired Technical Sergeant Andy Kubik, who participated as a combat controller, stated, "Controller's difficult task was keeping a three-dimensional awareness at all times." Airborne Forward Air Controller F-16 pilots faced equal challenges from the coordination of air and ground operations, with thousands of communications and commands taking place in seconds. Lightning-quick decisions had to be made, but the final result was a successful takeover of Kandahar Airfield. Historically, Operation Enduring Freedom became one of the most successful operations in warfare, even though planning was done in just weeks. Join Face as he brings forth his first-hand commentary about the F-16 Viper, as well as the experiences faced during the air operations to take over Kandahar Airfield, seen through pod videos. This program is an honorary tribute to the brave men and women and relentless heroes who provide the global security for the world today.
The F-16 was designed and built to counter a Soviet threat of the MiG-21 and basically be the Air Force's combat Kmart fighter. Cheap, easy, ready to fly, and it has proven itself to be much more than that in the years that it's been available, and it will continue to fly into the future. Today, as it saw combat in Yugoslavia as an airborne forward air controller, combat search and rescue, CAP, and all the missions it's flown, it's proven to be the multi-role fighter for the Air Force and for countries all around the world. Very capable airplane, it's very easy to maintain, and it's very efficient in flight because of single engine. It tributes to the men and women who enable the airplane to fly, the mechanics and the maintainers that keep it flying with mission capable rates that exceed anything ever imaginable, and the men and women that fly them, but most importantly what we call the ground controllers, JTACs, combat controllers. Without the combat controllers, the war in Afghanistan would have never been so efficient and so effective. With groups of people on the ground, JTACs, they were able to provide targeting. Then airplanes, F-16s, other airplanes as well, F-15s, but mostly F-16s were able to deliver munitions efficiently, fast, and accurately, enabling the United States to regain control of Afghanistan in a rapid manner. These people that we call combat controllers would live in Afghanistan for months at a time. They'd get their mission via radio, and they'd execute, and they'd work together with air crews and deliver munitions and targeting, which you'll see in this film, which is beyond incredible. F-16s acting as airborne forward air controllers, taking ground order of battle information from JTACs and transferring it into the cockpits of B-52s and B-1s, as well as F-18s and F-14s. The F-16 airfac was able to control air power and played a decisive role in what I call the initial victory in Afghanistan. In this film you'll see all that great work. You'll see the interaction between the ground controllers and the air crews, and never forget that the airplanes don't fly unless there's great mechanics working diligently 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep these airplanes airborne. They're loading live. That's the live load area at Nellis. There we go. That's what you're dressed like going to the airplane. You got your helmet bag, you got your knee board, you got your G-suit on. Most guys carry their helmet over the shoulder like the one guy. There's an airplane fully dressed. 2 tanks, 2 practice bombs.
Vegas 3 Nellis departure, 1 ambulance. Vegas 3 radar contact 2 miles south of Nellis Airport.
He's at 285 knots, 280 something.
Right.
He's at 15,000 some feet. Radar altimeter says he's 11,400 some feet above the ground. That's MSL, that's AGL.